Ave Gamers, Farrelloman here, bringing you how to build a veteran dungeon and trial healer for Elder Scrolls Online. This is covering Templar skills and champion points. I have another video I'm making that'll cover basic gear setups. The gear setups goes universal to the situation and group, not towards the class. But for right now, I'm making the Templar class skill lineup and how you might use them. So let's get started. First off, we'll go on from the top. You can always throw out your luminous shards for tanks, frontline DPS. This provides a synergy for resources and also to proc Alkosh. It also is something on the spot where you wish you can proc things like Olorima, putting it where you want. Radiant Ward is an okay shield. Depending on the skill you're running, it might not actually be too bad. Always remember to get every passive in any tree with a skill that you use. Solar Prison is very important for mitigation. One of the only sources of major maim in common builds, reducing damage by 30%. This is very important that maim affects boss and any subsequent mechanics afterwards, and also can help mitigate ad waves that hit hard. Sunfire has a skill that is, I believe, Vampire's Bane. Between that and the skill Power of Light, you are able to cast something regularly to proc minor sorcery for everybody in the group. Very important from a Templar. Can happen from a Magplar or a healer. For Magplar using Vamp Bane, or healer using Vamp Bane or Power of the Light. Power of the Light gives minor breach and fracture. It's very important again. Can come from a Templar tank if you have one. More commonly though would be a Templar healer or a Stamplar, depending on what your group is running. It also stacks on the other morph, which is Purifying Light, and the different damage will copy and hit. One gives fracture and breach and the other one does not. Always grab all relevant passives. Remember, it is a nice ulti, can really cover yourself while in the middle of some crazy stuff, but this is one of those things where this means you can't keep up with your own heals on things, the group is not controlling themselves correctly, or, like standing in red things or running around crazily. With a good controlled group, you shouldn't need it, but it can really save the day. Breath of Life is a skill you will want on your back bar heals rather than your front bar. On your front bar, you'll have all your resto skill heals and things like that, but on your back bar, you can't put a resto skill heal, so your only panic heal for the back bar available that's really worth a dime is Breath of Life. Radiant Aura is nice as a mag steal. It also gives recoveries. While it's slotted, goes best on front bar. AoE, mag steal, is really powerful, but we generally don't need it. We'll cast Ellie Drain for free on a few things. Ritual Retribution, needed skill. Personally, I put it on the front. This is something that puts up a huge ring. It's a heal over time, a hot. It also cures yourself of negative effects and provides a synergy for either your tank or somebody suffering. They alone can synergize themselves. Channeled Focus. This is a back bar skill. Put it down, set it and forget it for a while. While it's active, you have increased physical and resistance, and while you're standing in it, that is better. Also, while it's active, you have increased mag recovery. Helps with your sustain. There is a protection version of this which gives you also minor protections. So tank or sustain. Grab all passives relative. Destruction Staff. It's nice to have a Destro, but you got that Solar Prison with maim and a good chunk of damage and a unique synergy. But Destro is a really good burn now strat. Used sometimes. Crushing Shock. Maybe your team doesn't have it, and you can do it. Controlled interrupts only. Blockade on back bar. One of the healers, maybe even both, will be running this. If you're running Torog's Pact, You'll be running a blockade. The whole point is to put a blockade with an infused crusher on it. That way your blockade debuffs from being a lightning, causing concussion, off balance, invulnerability, and also proccing that crusher. Or your own absorb mag or lightning. It could be a lightning wall with a lightning enchant and decisive. I'm sorry, not decisive, charged. Charged causes more chance to cause status effects. Therefore, we'll see more of it creating a off balance and such. Ellie Drain, very important. One of two healers often wear this. One healer, Templar, might be doing Power of the Light, while a Warden would be doing Ellie Drain. All skills relative, or all passives relative. Panacea, I don't recommend it myself. It can save the day in the right situation, but again, I try not to rely on my crutch heals like ultimates. I try and cover the group with natural heals like skills. Healing Springs, powerful. Your main heal stacks over the prior one up to 3 times. That means by the third cast you have 3 healing springs going on the same target. Do that with 2 healers and you have 6 healing springs per second taking off on anybody and everybody. Restoring mag, proccing your master resto, all kinds of great things. Regen, rapid regen, etc. All of these a little greedy, but it can be nice. Combat Prayer. This gives Berserk back to Nightblades and to everybody else who's not been having that given to themselves naturally. We've been relying on this for it the whole time. It also gives minor resolve and minor ward, increasing physical and spell resistance that stacks under most people's majors, or the lack of majors provides protection for them. Siphon, not used very often. Lifesteal, mag steal, basically you don't need Ellie, but you want lifesteal. There are other skills to give that as well. You could Ellie and you could alter. Grab everything relative. You want 5 armor, light, so you can get everything in here. This is all of your sustain, power, etc. Medium armor, depending on the situation, the first few things might be good. The first one's not really relative. Maybe your stam cost, if you're casting things like Power of the Light, Ring of Protection, this can help. And your ability to sneak is not really important. In PvE content instances, they don't recognize your sneak. You're either in proximity or not. Heavy, some great stuff in here. Physical and spell resistance. Health recov. Restore mag when you, or stam when you take damage. Increase your max health. Makes you tankier, more sustainable. Important other skills from guilds. Things like turn Silverbolt to Silver Leash, maybe. Kind of a crazy thought there, but maybe. Ring of Preservation, expensive, but great to share things like protections and endurance with everybody. Stam recovery, reduce damage taken. Also calls the group to stand here in this ring and stop running around. It's really nice. Ultimate Gain. Undaunted has a lot of things we want. Blood Altar, Lifesteal in a huge AoE, 28 meters. Trapping Webs, turn that to